Hello, it's good to see you guys. I'm talking about a topic today that many of you have actually asked me to talk about. Many of you have written in and said, hey, can you do a segment on how to tell if your blood pressure medications are too strong? And I was like, yeah, you know what? That's a great topic. That is what we're talking about today. So, by the way, let me know who's on. Say hello to me. Hello, it's good to see you guys. I'm Dr. Jen Caudle, practicing family physician. I'm an on-air health expert and video creator. So let's just get started, because what's really interesting about this concept of blood pressure medications being too strong is usually with my doctor colleagues and my medical students and stuff like that, we don't usually, I don't often at least, have conversations where the language is too strong comes up. We may say that the dose is too high or it's causing side effects, etc. But, it's interesting. I've had some patients that have come into me and have said, Dr. Caudle, I think my blood pressure medication is too strong. And I said, well, what makes you think that way? And many times in the office, when my patients have said this, they have referred to symptoms or side effects that they've been feeling. They say, well, it makes me feel this way, or I've felt this way since I started taking the medications. I think it's too strong. So what I first want to do, and this is my opinion, is sort of level set. When we talk about blood pressure medications being too strong, as a physician, when I think about the phrase too strong in the true sense of the word, what I think about is it works too well for the patient, meaning it may lower the blood pressure too much. Now, lowering the blood pressure too much is a problem, and that's generally how I think about, a medication being too strong. But I think many people also, when they're asking, hey, how do I know if my blood pressure medications are too strong? They're actually asking also about side effects or symptoms that you're feeling. So I want to sort of divide those up, talk about them separately, and give you some ideas about how to think about this, okay? So it does happen where we give blood pressure medications and the dose is too high. When the dose is too high, and perhaps for some this is sort of translated into it's too strong, it can cause your blood pressure to go too low, and that is a problem. Okay, if your blood pressure goes too low, it can cause symptoms. It can cause you to feel faint. It can cause you to feel lightheaded. It can cause you, if it's really low, to feel confused. Some people get like sweats or palpitation or just feeling like, oh, I don't feel so well, I need to sit down. They may feel fatigued, dizziness, and actually low blood pressure, if it's way too low, can be a medical emergency. So one way that I think about it is your blood pressure medication doses too high, which is causing your blood pressure to go too low? That is one, I think, important element that when you are asking, is my blood pressure medications too strong? One thing I would ask is, do you mean is your dose too high? Is your blood pressure going too low because the dose is too high? Now, the way to know, first of all, I would say is you need to involve your doctor. If your concern is that your blood pressure medication dose is too high, because of maybe symptoms that you're feeling, like the ones I mentioned or others, that you think your blood pressure is going too low, first thing you need to do is you got to call your doctor. And if you can't reach your doctor and you've got real concerns, you need to go to urgent care or the emergency room. Low blood pressure can be really potentially dangerous, okay? And I always have to say this because it's always better to be safe than sorry. You always want to make sure you know what's what. But let's say you don't have any urgent concerns, but you're suspicious or you're wondering. Well, one way to tell would be to get a blood pressure cuff. Maybe you have a home blood pressure cuff. Check your blood pressure at home. I always say when you go into your doctor's office and you're talking about blood pressure, bring in your home blood pressure cuff so that your doctor can check your home cuff against the cuff that we have in the office to make sure that it's accurate, because sometimes home blood pressure cuffs are not the most accurate. I've done some segments on that. So you can check your blood pressure at home. Or maybe you've gone to other specialists, other doctors' offices, and your blood pressure was low, okay? You might be wondering how low is too low. Well, too low is going to be different for different people. I mean, some people need to have a blood pressure that's lower than 140/90. Some people lower than 130/80. But when people develop symptoms, I mean, yeah, 90/60 is low. 80 is definitely way low. Even 100s over 60 or 70 is low for a number of people. So I'm not here to give you a hard and fast number. If you experience symptoms at a certain point, that is a reason to talk to your doctor, okay? So I'm trying to avoid and sort of skirt around giving you a hard and fast number to look for, because everybody really is different, and this is where you have to talk to your doctor. So back to the point, and when we talk about blood pressure medications being too strong, okay, and I see somebody watching from Japan. Well, hello, it's good to see you. I think you're one of the first people I think I've known from Japan to be watching. It's great to see you. Hello. And actually, guys, let me know which country, which nationality you are, which country you're watching from. It's great to see you guys. So when we talk about blood pressure medications being too strong, this first element is the blood pressure medication dosing too high? And is it causing your blood pressure to go too low? That's what we're talking about right now. What you've got to do is you have to talk to your doctor about that. It's actually ideal if you don't have emergent or urgent symptoms that you don't need to go to the hospital, to the ER, urgent care. Go into your doctor's office. Have them check your blood pressure so they can see if your blood pressure medications literally are too strong, if your dose is too high, which is causing your blood pressure to be too low. And once again, there are a number of symptoms you can have from blood pressure being too low. Some of them that I mentioned: the dizziness, fatigue, feeling unwell, confusion, lightheaded, palpitations, you feel sweaty, clammy, things like that, okay? Now this other side, which I think a lot of my patients, when they tell me, hey, Dr. Jen, I'm wondering if my blood pressure medications are too strong, I think a lot of my patients are actually saying to me, and I'll ask them, I think they're saying, hey, I think I feel symptoms, I feel side effects. Are the medicines too strong? So let's talk about the side effect thing, okay? This is the other side of it. First of all, there are potential side effects to pretty much any and all medications, okay? Even if you go over the counter and you pick up a cream for a rash or a medication for pain over the counter, even the safest medications have potential side effects. So that is something that shouldn't scare you on the outset, that there could be side effects to medications from blood pressure or others. Don't let that scare you, because Tylenol, acetaminophen, ibuprofen, Motrin, anything really over the counter, pretty much anything can have side effects depending on the person, okay? So this is the thing. We also have to keep in mind that there are many different classes of blood pressure medications, thank goodness, and many different types of blood pressure medications can cause certain side effects that we know, or that are well known, right? There is a class of medications for blood pressure that can cause a dry cough. And if I start my patients on that class of medication, I tend to warn them, hey, some people get a dry cough with this. If you do, let me know. Some people on another class of medications for blood pressure may get swelling, like in the legs and the feet usually. And I have to say, hey, we're starting this medicine for your blood pressure. I think it's the best medicine for you, but this is a potential side effect. Other medications can cause fatigue for blood pressure. Some medications for blood pressure can cause sexual dysfunction. There are other potential side effects. So, and remember, this is not much different than anything else, okay? So don't let this scare you. Don't let this scare you off and say, oh, there could be side effects, I don't want to take it. Well, no, that's not the way it goes. There's side effects to anything, from birth control pills to Advil to, you just have to know and be informed about what they could be, communicate with your doctor, and work out a plan, okay? The most important thing is that whatever you're doing is best for your overall health, all right? So if you feel, or if you're wondering that your medications, your blood pressure medications are too strong because you're having side effects, well, you got to talk to your doctor about that. And I would argue that it's not necessarily an issue of the medicines being too strong. Maybe it's simply a matter of you having side effects, that you're experiencing some of the things that I mentioned or other things. What I would say to that is, that's okay. You wouldn't be the only one, meaning, and my point being is, don't feel like, oh my gosh, because these things do happen. Which is why I think it's always important to have this open line of communication with your doctor. If you feel like you're having a side effect that's not life-threatening, that's not urgent or emergent, which would require you to go to the ER if that happens, give your doctor a call. Before you stop the medication, call your doctor, talk to your doctor, or see your doctor about what's going on. If there's something, like I said, urgent or life-threatening, you go to the ER, okay? But don't stop your medications before you talk to your doctor, because sometimes stopping medications abruptly or just stopping them, period, could have really bad effects or side effects for you, okay? But if you're feeling side effects from the medication you're taking, what I would say is that's probably more an issue of side effects as opposed to strength of the medication or how strong it is, okay? And that is something that theoretically could be changed in many situations. There's so many different blood pressure medications, which is great. Oftentimes we can change to another class. We can change the dose if we need to change the dose. We can do a lot of different things. So don't let that sort of deter you or make you feel kind of um, make you feel like there's no hope. So those are two really, really important things. I want to stop right here, and I want you to write in the comments, and by the way, thank you guys for listening and watching. Thank you guys so much for sending stars. And for those of you on YouTube, thank you for the super chats and the super stickers. I'd like you to write in the comments how many of you are on blood pressure medications. Have you ever wondered if your blood pressure medication was too strong? And if you wondered if it was too strong, what made you wonder if it was too strong? Like when we use the language too strong, what made you feel that way or wonder? So I wish I had a little bit of music to play right now, but I don't. I want to hear what you guys have to say. So go ahead and write in the comments, and I'm going to take a look and see what you guys are writing in so we can see what's going on. All right, so you guys are writing in. Mass, by the way, thank you for the stars. I so appreciate you. All right. Ma Pulu, you have a dry cough since taking blood pressure medications. Mercy, you're watching from Kuwait. That's pretty awesome. Well, hello there. It's great to see you. Hill, I'm glad that this is a good review. I'm glad that this is helpful. That's awesome. Holly, you're thanking me for doing this for you. Well, God bless you. I thank you all for watching. This is what I do every day. This is my pride and joy medicine, and I just feel honored that you all are here. That's how I feel. Let's see here. What else we got? You guys are writing in. Okay, Carla, you were feeling tired and sleepy with your medications. You also fell. Well, so that definitely is serious. Margaret, you're on high blood pressure medication, so a number of you are. And so this is the thing. One of you wrote in some edema that you had in your lower extremities. So these are the things, right? So if you are experiencing any symptoms, you know how I always say this, guys. You know how I'm always like, any symptoms at all, whether you think it's from your blood pressure medications or not. And you may not know. In fact, you probably don't know. I mean, and there's no I'm not trying to be negative, but that's what physicians are for. We're here to help you through this. Any symptoms that you have, some of you are writing in fatigue, you're writing in dizziness, you're writing in edema, you're writing in cough, etc., sluggish, etc. These are really, really important things to take note of and take to your doctor, so long as you're not in an emergency or an emergent state, because if that's the case, you go to the ER. Remember what I said. What I advise you to do is you need to write down the symptoms that you have, and if you're worried about it being your blood pressure medications, give us a little bit more information. Write down the symptoms that you get and maybe the timing as it relates to the blood pressure medications. Like some people will come in and they will tell me that after they start taking whatever medication, a few hours later, they feel like this, whether it's their diabetes medicine or blood pressure or whatever. So if there's a timing component, a certain time of day that you feel this way, write that down. Also, if you're concerned about your blood pressure and your blood pressure medications, take your blood pressure at home. Get a home blood pressure cuff. I did a segment on home blood pressure cuffs. Also, check your blood pressure when you go to specialist office visits. So you might, if you have a neurologist, if you have a cardiologist, if you have an endocrinologist, many of these specialists check blood pressures in the office when you come to them. Write those down as well, okay? Let's see here. D. Cruz, you asked if you can stop taking blood pressure medication. Theoretically, it is possible for people to come off of medications if their blood pressure normalizes. I do not recommend people stopping their medications on their own. Stopping your blood pressure medications needs to be done within the context of your doctor. That is something you need to work together to do. And I would not stop your blood pressure medications abruptly. If you have concerns about your medications causing problems, once again, I know I sound like a broken record, but I have to say this. If it's an emergency symptom, you go to the ER. If it's something that's not emergent, you call your doctor and say, hey, look, I think there's a problem. And they may say, hey, come in. Let's check it. Let's talk about this, okay? But keep in mind, I think that's another thing I want people to know is a lot of people that I put on blood pressure medications, sometimes they're worried about being put on blood pressure medications because they feel like they'll never be able to get off of them. That couldn't be further from the truth, okay? I have a number of patients that with diet and lifestyle changes, they may lose weight, they eat healthier, they cut back on the salt in the diet. They do a lot of really amazing things. I have many patients that have been able to We've been able to lower the dose of their blood pressure medications or actually be able to stop certain medications. So I want you to be hopeful. Of course, everybody's different, but understand that being put on a blood pressure medication is not necessarily a life sentence to have to be on it literally for the rest of your life. I want you to be encouraged that you may not have to, okay? So this is the thing. A lot of you guys are writing and you've got really, really important and interesting stories here. And I always say, most of the comments on these videos are really, really insightful and helpful. I encourage the rest of you to take a look at some of the comments that you're all writing, because sometimes I feel like what you write really helps other people in the group who are watching, etc. I hope this is really helpful as we talk about blood pressure. Understand that the phrase, "Is my blood pressure medication too strong?" is really, in my opinion, sort of a general blanket term for a couple of things. Number one, is the blood pressure medication I'm taking too high of a dose, which is causing my blood pressure to go too low? Or number two, am I having side effects from the blood pressure medication that I'm taking? Okay, there are probably other potential possibilities, but those are the two sort of buckets that I'm thinking about. Either one or others really should prompt you to speak to your doctor. So let me know, guys, if this was helpful. Just to sort of talk about this again, this was a topic that you all suggested actually in one of my videos from yesterday. You said, hey, can you talk about how to know if your blood pressure medications are too strong? So I got this idea from you. I am always looking for topics and ideas that are important to you and that you want to hear about. So write in the comments what you want to hear about, what topics are important. Let me know if this was helpful, and if you have any other questions. This is sort of a brief overview. You guys are amazing. Thank you again for all the stars that you send on YouTube. Thank you for the super chats and super stickers. And for those of you who are not part of my page, please like and follow my page so you can make sure you get notifications when I go live. I go live almost every day and do videos as well. And on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell for updates. And I have subscription groups on both with exclusive content as well. So that's for people who are we call them Dr. Den Superstars, the subscription on Facebook, where I do private lives for that group and stuff every Wednesday. So you guys are awesome. I hope this was helpful. Okay, talk to your doctor. We are your friends. All right, guys, I love y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.